All of you. So thank you very much for joining. So let us start today's class. So today we're going to do the chapter number 12. So chapter number 12 is the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's also called as the devotional service. So this is really, really very important. And then we will start this chapter. So let me share my screen. All right. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you. ISKCON Sheshadripuram presents Gita Gyan, Essence of Bhagavad Gita, Level 2. Let us take darshan of Nitai Gauranga from ISKCON Golok Dham, Germany. Golok Dham, ISKCON. Prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय Hare Krishna. This session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder Acharya for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, GBC Spiritual Master. So recently I have circulated one video. I don't know how many of you got a chance to see that, where there was one person who asked a question to Guru Maharaj. What should we do if our family is not supporting in Krishna consciousness? What should we do? How many of you watched that video?
Prabhuji, I watched Prabhuji.
Okay.
I too watched Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Me too watched Prabhuji.
Very nice. So what was the takeaways for all of you?
Prabhuji, one thing I just got it trick from what Prabhuji told was you should be tactful. So he said that you be tactful enough, like, if your parents, if you're in very young age, parents want you to study very well and get a degree. That is, so you fulfill their requirement and then parallelly do Krishna consciousness and then you can take full-time Krishna consciousness is what he said. I felt we should be tactful is what is my takeaway, Prabhuji.
That's nice. That was a good one.
But still, it is quite difficult. But thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
definitely. That was very good. Yeah, one point he said was, if you're going to be very fanatic, you'll be burning out your relationships, right? That's what one point he said. Okay. More takeaways. What did you learn from that video? Anyone? What else did he say?
Don't be harsh and rude to your family, or just give them a walk away from the house or something. Let it be a gradual and give them try to talk to them and explain to them and complete your education, and gradually you simultaneously progress in this Krishna consciousness.
One more thing I felt very nice about it is he shared his experience where his father wanted him to join to US Army. So US Army, he said, Prabhupada, he came and said to Prabhupada that my father is asking me to join US Army. Prabhupada told, you join Krishna's army. So this is very interesting, Prabhuji. That is what I'm going to tell here also. So I'll join Krishna's army. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare.
Yeah, that was a very interesting takeaway. Join Krishna's army, right? And his father almost disowned him and he said, you're not going to get any inheritance like that. But then later he said, father is a father, son is a son, and I forgive you, like that, right? Yeah, so the idea is so devotional service has to be performed in a very regulated way, carefully. And you can be very emotional in your relationship with Krishna, but you don't have to dramatically show it in front of others, you see. Then it becomes a kind of a disturbance to you and to your family, everybody actually. Okay. So, but that's very, what is very important is you should not give up, right? So I was hearing Mahananda Prabhu's class, and then he was sharing his experience where it's the opposite. Okay, this is one example where Guru Maharaj, he persisted, and then his parents also got interested in Krishna consciousness. At least his mother was chanting rounds, and she was favorable for a long time, right? And the opposite example was hearing Mahananda Prabhu's class, and then he said that when he was in the ashram, okay, he had another ashram brahmachari along with him, whom he met after many, many years, and asked him, okay, how are you? Are you chanting Hare Krishna? And then he said, sorry, I don't chant anymore. Then he asked Mahanand Prabhas, why don't you chant? Okay, then that brahmachari, that not no longer brahmachari, that person said, my mother will feel bad. I don't want to hurt my mother. So Mahanand Prabhu was saying, yes, mother's feeling very important, but devotional service is more important. Okay, very, very important. So I'll also tell you one story, okay? Maybe to begin with, maybe it'll be a very nice beginning, powerful beginning. Okay, how many of you want a very powerful beginning? Type me in the chat. All right, so here is it. It's going to be really powerful, okay? So we're going straight into Lord Krishna's most confidential pastime, Rasa Leela pastime. All right? Just give me a minute. Yes. So Krishna, uh, he wanted to perform the Rasa Leela, and then he was waiting for the moon to rise. And after the moon rose, he went to the forests of Vrindavan, and then he started to blow his flute or play his flute, right? So he was playing his flute, and then the gopis who heard this flute got very attracted towards Krishna, and they could not stop themselves from coming. So this is the description given by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. Mind you, the context of Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very serious. What's the context? Parikshit Maharaj has got how many days to live?
Only 7 days to live.
Only 7 days to live. And Shukadeva Goswami is the topmost yogi, right? Who is narrating this Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj is asking, what is it the person who is about to die must be doing? And then Shukadeva Goswami is narrating the Rasa Leela pastime. So you can understand that definitely this Rasa Leela pastime is not what we think or what a common public thinks. If that was the case, Shukadeva Goswami would not be speaking it, first of all, nor Parikshit Maharaj would be interested in hearing. Okay, if it was any kind of ordinary encounter of a man and a woman, that is not. So here is so Rasa Leela pastime, and Lord Krishna, he is playing his flute, and all the gopis, they got very attracted. And there is a description in Srimad Bhagavatam about how each of these gopis, they were very much attracted towards Krishna. And then they were doing a lot of different kinds of activities. You see, what were they doing? You see, there were some people who were milking cows. Some gopis were milking the cows. And as soon as they heard the flute of Krishna, they stopped and they left. Some of them, they were boiling the milk, and they left it on the stove. And what happens to the milk? If you leave it boiling, what happens to it?
It will overflow and
Yeah, but they left it. And some of them were like, cooking chapatis, right? So, but they left the chapati and they just left. What happens to them?
burnt.
Burnt, yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah. Some of them were getting dressed. Some of them were feeding milk to their infants. Some of them were rendering personal service to their husbands, and different kinds of duties they were doing. Some of them were taking their meals, eating food, and some of them were getting ready. But as soon as they heard Krishna's flute, they immediately rushed. And their husbands, fathers, brothers, and relatives, they tried to stop them. But the problem is, you see, Krishna, he had stolen their hearts. So we all know how lovers would behave, we can say. Somebody who is in love, who is intensely in love, not interested to hear to anybody, nobody can stop them. So, but then nobody could stop them. Neither their husbands, nor their fathers, nor their brothers, nor their relatives, nobody could stop. They could just hear Krishna's flute and they were just running. That's it. Some of them actually managed to get out of their houses. And some of them, they just stayed back and they closed their eyes and they were just meditating upon Krishna. And for those gopis who were not able to go to see Krishna, there was so much of intolerable separation. It was like burning them. So this intense burning, the intolerable separation, was burning away their impious karma. That was all their bad karma was getting burnt by this separation of Krishna. And they were experiencing ecstasy. You see? And they were very intimately connected with Krishna. All right? And you see, some of them, they even left their bodies because they were not allowed to leave the house. And then Parikshit Maharaj, he asked the question. Okay, interruption. So the story is going very nicely. Shukadev Goswami is like telling this Ras Leela in a very wonderful pastime. And then here comes the interruption. Parikshit Maharaj is asking, Gopis, they only know Krishna as their lover. They don't know that Krishna is a supreme absolute truth. But then, this is like loving affairs between girls and boys is like modes of material nature. How could they free themselves from material attachment? That was a question asked by Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami this time was like a little upset. He said, because he was interrupted, right? He said, you see, I already explained this point to you. Even Shishupala, who hated Krishna, he attained perfection. Am I right? Shishupala attained perfection, yes or no? He attained liberation, yes or no? Yes?
Yes,
He hated
Prabhu.
Krishna. Then what to speak of the dear devotees? And then he says, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is not an ordinary human being. He is inexhaustible, immeasurable of nature. That is, he is beyond the three modes of material nature. He is the controller. He is the controller of the three modes of material nature. We only know about material nature and we know that we are a puppet of material nature, modes of material nature. We all know that anger, passion, desire, lust, envy, all of these are actually products of the modes of material nature. But here is Krishna, who is the Lord of the modes of material nature. So his appearance is meant for giving the highest benefit for the humanity. That is to give liberation. So those people who constantly direct their lust or anger or fear or protective affection like parental affection or friendship or impersonal oneness towards Lord Krishna, they become absorbed in him and then they become liberated. So these gopis, they were very fortunate because they thought of Krishna as their lover and they were fully absorbed in his thoughts. And that's the reason why they could burn away all their karmic reactions in a matter of milliseconds. Okay? How many of you got that? Okay? That's the essence of this chapter. The 12th chapter is about devotional service. So before we understand, we have to understand who is Krishna. Yes, any questions anybody has?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just have a question here.
Yes.
like gopis, they have minimalistic work, so probably they get a lot of time only to think about, remember Krishna all the time, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. We have so many distractions, and
Okay.
how to get such kind of affection and love and all,
Yes.
Prabhuji. We have
Yeah.
faith, but
Mataji, come on. Yeah, I got it. Okay, that was like, okay, I got it. But I tell you, the gopis and the gopas, they were very busy. It's given in Srimad Bhagavatam, all right? Okay, nice question. I understand your question, but the Bhagavatam also gives that the gopas, they were very, very busy. They were so busy that they did not even have time to chant Hare Krishna. They didn't have time for any religious practice. But Krishna, he personally manifested Goloka Vrindavana in front of them, and he showed the Vaikuntha Dham to them in front of them. See, even the gopis, they were very busy women. Don't think that they are like sitting idle. Okay, they have so many things to do. They have to take care of their fathers, their brothers, if they're unmarried. If they're married, they have to take care of their husband. They have to take care of their children. If they have kids, right? Everybody is busy. Nobody is free. You see, all the devotees are actually,
Even Yashoda Mata was not free,
yeah,
though
she
she was
is very
I meant
busy.
to
queen.
say, Prabhuji, their distractions were not there. We have very eye capturing and for
Yeah.
sense gratification, so much distractions. So if our environment also is like that and conducive, like probably if you are in village or something, we can also
Maybe.
be attached to Krishna in that way.
But yeah, maybe it is little bit more conducive. I agree that city life is mode of passion. Am I right? Mode of passion. So mode of passion means distraction, and village life, simple life can be more conducive. But let me tell you, village people are very hardworking. How many of you agree to this? They're very
Yes.
hardworking.
Too
Yes,
much
sir.
work.
I agree.
Too
I
much
am
work.
in village.
Too
I
much
mean,
work for them to do.
Yeah, they work very hard. They work very hard. They do a lot of manual labor, physical labor. Yes, anybody wants to add something? Yeah. So there are so many things for them to do. Okay. So because they have to get everything on their own. So I can put it this way, opposite. Okay, let me turn it like this. That see, at that time, the gopis they didn't have the water pipeline. They had to get the water from the river, right? They didn't have a geyser for heating the water. They didn't have washing machine to wash the clothes and dryer to wash the clothes. Am I right? They didn't have
They
electricity.
were trusting only legs and hands of
Right?
theirs, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Now, geyser
Right.
if doesn't work, fully mad. Morning only will become mad.
Yes.
So, this kind of
They don't have
Lot of
fan. They don't have AC. Right? Yes,
uh,
Prabhu.
at that time, exercises is there. So many exercises. If you walked in the stone, it is a exercise.
Yeah. They have to walk all the way to the river and get water pot by pot. Okay. Just imagine, even for bathing or for cooking, they have to get a pot of water. For bathing, they'll go there, but for cooking, they'll have to get the water here. Okay. So they have to manually go and bring it, and then they have to milk the cows. They have to take care of children, and they have to milk the cows. And the cow milk products, they have to convert it. It's like an industry, right? They are managing the cows. There are lakhs of cows. So the milk has to be carefully stored, and it has to be converted into curd. They have to curdle that, and then they have to remove the cream out of it. Manage. They were very busy. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, but nice question. It's a nice reflection. Always like it
Prabhuji,
happens.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna. It is, they were busy. The life now is very, very easy. I don't say no, but the distractions in our lives are very high.
This,
Very, very high. Too many distractions.
yes.
Even if you don't want to, also we are going to it. It's like that.
Yeah. So we have to identify the distractions and cut them off. Yeah, that's a practical thing that we have to think. We'll have to look. I mean, where is the root source of this distraction?
Prabhuji, don't you think gopis were ignorant and innocent, Prabhuji? They were ignorant, huh? Was they ignorant?
Ignorant about what? Ignorant of what? Ignorant of transcendental knowledge?
No. No, not trying. Yeah, knowledge, Prabhuji. Basically, education and spiritual knowledge, Vedas, all that.
Possible. They may not have been very educated. They may have been educated to some basic level, maybe like 10th or schooling or something. I'm guessing, okay? They may not have been very much educated, but sometimes education is becoming a slaughterhouse. Okay. Prabhupada calls the school education a slaughterhouse. It's killing our innocent feeling within us towards God. Okay, so we are accumulating more avidya than vidya. So that's the other part of the argument. Okay. Yeah. So yes, that was about gopis. Yeah, the biggest challenge is like only when the family. What is this? Yeah. The biggest challenge is when once the family is in Krishna.
Only one in Krishna consciousness. In the entire family, only one person is
Only
Krishna
one is
conscious.
in Krishna consciousness. Here, just try to understand. I'm telling you the story of gopis. You're not understanding it. The gopis here, they are married to somebody. I'm telling that, they're married to somebody, or they are like young gopis. Their parents and their brothers are controlling them. It's not 21st century, right? That they can go anywhere they want. They're like completely under the control of their brothers, and they are under their watch. And then their family is not in Krishna consciousness in that sense. Am I right? So their father, I'm telling you the story here, that their fathers are telling, don't go, don't leave. They're locking the door. Right? And what are the gopis doing? What are they doing?
Trying to escape.
They're running away. Right? They're just running out. Okay, I'm not saying you do that, but just telling you that that should be the mood. Okay, we should not artificially imitate the gopis. But I told you the example also that some gopis, they could not go out of the house because they locked. What did they do? What did they do? I just
They
thought.
are
They left their
suffering.
body.
They left their body. They left their body because they were intensely meditating upon Krishna, and they left their body. So what do you understand from that? That definitely the gopis did not have a very favorable situation. Nobody said, okay, please go to Krishna. Nobody said that. The same oppositions that we have today at our home is the same opposition that they had. It was more severe. They had to be hearing so much of criticism also. Don't go. You will not go out. Are you getting it? So it is the intensity of love. So we have to develop that loving devotional. That's the loving relationship that we have to develop with Krishna. And that's why I talked about the example of Jayapatak Maharaj. He was talking about how his parents opposed and how he tactfully managed them. So the key here is to be tactful, right? Don't be fanatic. You don't have to be fanatic. You don't have to imitate the gopis. We can't imitate the gopis. We are not at their level, but we can definitely be tactful. We don't have to very expressively show that we are a great devotee. We just have to humbly perform our devotional service. All we are saying is chant your 16 rounds. Now, who is going to stop you? Nobody can stop you, okay? And we don't see Prahlad Maharaj. He was doing devotional service and his father wanted to kill him. Despite of that, Prahlad Maharaj continued to do Krishna consciousness, right? The gopis, they wanted to meet Krishna, but they are being stopped. So they can do it. Why not us? I don't think our relatives are so fanatic that they want to kill us. If we say that we will chant a couple of rounds, they're not going to say, I'll kill you. Is there anybody like that here? Your relatives are saying that we'll kill you. No, nobody is saying that. They say, okay, to the max, they will say, I'm okay as long as you can balance. Please balance. Please don't disturb anything. Am I right? So that we should be able to do. Just like how you are able to manage a hobby. So we take out time, right? If you want to watch your favorite serial, you do everything. You do the planning, right? You plan in such a way, you finish your tasks in such a way that you have time for it. Similarly, where there is a will, there is a way. The will should come. Okay, the will come. The will must come. So that's why we have these classes, right? Bhagavad Gita, and that's why Krishna is explaining Arjuna why. The reason why we must do devotional service. That's why I wanted to stress on this. I didn't directly jump into the topic because we have to understand what are we doing? Why are we doing this? What is the ultimate goal of what we are doing? What is the ultimate goal?
Love of Godhead.
To
Yeah.
go back to Godhead.
Yeah, love of Godhead, to go back to God, back to Godhead. It's not a one-day process. Let me tell you, it's not a one-day thing. It is sadhana. What is sadhana? It's a daily practice for a lifetime. Every single day, without missing. When you're doing whatever the spiritual master says, then you develop a strong, intense attachment of Krishna. That takes us back to Godhead. You see, it's a lifetime practice. It's not that, I suddenly found something new, Krishna consciousness, and I'll do it for 1 week. Suddenly I read about Ekadashi and I'll not drink water and I'll fast like mad. And the next day I'm having some stomach issues or I'm sleeping the whole day. This is not Krishna consciousness. Are you getting it? It's a lifetime practice. Type LTP in the chat. Lifetime practice. It's a lifetime practice. Right? Prabhupada says this. Just like it may be very difficult for us to understand this because we no longer have this kind of marriages. But earlier, our grandfathers and grandmothers, they got married at a very young age, right? So when they got married, arranged marriage, very young, they didn't have the love. Okay, they don't love each other, the husband and wife. Okay, this Prabhupada's quote. And how did the love happen? The love used to happen when the elders used to say some activities that to the to the wife, so that you do this, okay, cook this food item and cook this and do this, do this. So when they follow this guidance of the elders, the love used to happen. It's the same thing. We don't have love for Krishna right now. Or even if we have, it's not so strong. We don't have really strong, intense love for Krishna. Just like the gopis, we don't have such intensity. But then we have to intensify it by doing these activities every single day. They are not rituals. They are not blind rituals that blindly I'll do ting, 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 finish. No. They are very powerful processes. Every single day, you take them without even transgressing it by 1 inch. That's the way we are supposed to do sadhana. How are we supposed to do sadhana? Don't change it even 1 millimeter also. But right now, our sadhana is 1 kilometer away. How many of you agree to that? How many of you agree to that? Our sadhana is 1 kilometer or many kilometers away from what the spiritual master is saying. They're very far. I'm talking about sadhana. Right?
Agree.
Yeah. So this is a process. We have to have faith, right? Just like how we have faith in the cab driver. I take an auto or a cab driver, I have faith that he will take me carefully to house. He'll not kidnap me. When I'm taking a flight, I have faith that the pilot will not sleep or this flight will not crash. I have faith in the pilot. When I'm taking a train, I have faith that this train will not go and crash. Okay, it will go carefully. So we keep faith in so many things. We have to have faith in the spiritual master and we have to take the process as it is. Just like that. Just do it. Then you will see the result. Okay? Then you will see the result. Then over years, it takes a couple of years. And then slowly, our love for Krishna intensifies. And then we will come to that stage. Okay, we'll come to that stage. Definitely we'll come to that stage. But we should first start. Okay, we should start. Yes, we are seeing something. Suresh Prabhu is saying this Kali Yuga. Guruji, opposition is there in family itself. There'll be opposite actions and comments that I'm always attending different classes. They think it is sufficient. We attend a class a day. Yeah, we should take a decision on our own and do sadhana. Yes, that's right. I understand. There'll be comments, there'll be criticism. People will joke at us or they may mock at you, joke on you. call you names, but that should not stop us. Just like anybody who is very passionate about doing something, they will not care for anybody's comments, isn't it? For example, somebody who wants to start a business, right? Take a lot of examples, right? You can take the example of Nirma, okay, Nirma company owner. He was working as a government employee. He was a chemical engineer. And when he started a company of a detergent soap company, everybody laughed at him. But he just kept going. And then Nirma became one of the top detergents in India. It is like history, right? Take the case of so many businessmen are there like that, Dhirubhai Ambani, and so many examples. All the entrepreneurs' examples will be like that only. So they're passionate about something and they pursue it. So we are also, this is also a startup, Krishna startup. We want to go back to Godhead. That's our wealth. We should have that passion and we should not care for others' comments and whatever criticism. We should take it and keep moving. That's it. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Keep improving. Keep improving. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. That's it. Okay. That's about it. Okay. I'll tell you now. We're going to see the exact verses why we are supposed to do this. Okay. This is going to be really, really inspiring. So let's start now. So here is the chapter number 12, devotional service. Here we go. Let us hear from Krishna why we should do this devotional service. Why is it so important to do devotional service? Okay. Now it all starts with a question, a very straightforward question by Arjuna. It's a discussion, straightforward discussion about what is better, to take the impersonal path or a personal path in spirituality. Okay, this is like a little bit serious question, because our spiritual knowledge of the Vedas, Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutras, there are multiple interpretations of it. And there is an impersonal aspect to it and a personal aspect to it. When Krishna is involved, that is a personal aspect. Whereas when the all-pervasive feature is involved, that is an impersonal aspect. For example, when we saw the chapter number 10, right, when Krishna was explaining his opulences, when Krishna said that I am the heat of the sun, I am the light of the splendor of the sun and the moon, I am the heat of the fire, right? When he's saying that I am Himalayas among the mountains, I am the Ganges among rivers. So this is an impersonal aspect. And then there is personal aspect, where Krishna is showing his four-handed form. Krishna is showing his two-handed form. And we see now, we are seeing gopis. The gopis are hearing the flute of Krishna and they're going mad. And in that madness, they are just rushing towards Krishna. That is a personal aspect. It's not an impersonal aspect. So we have two aspects. Now, Arjuna's straightforward question is, which among these is better? These personal devotees, right, who are performing pure devotional service, or the jnani who are more attached to the impersonal feature of Krishna? Who is better? That's the straightforward question. Okay. And we'll hear it from Krishna's mouth. Which of these, Arjuna inquired, which of these is considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Now, Krishna is answering. Anybody wants to read this verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita 12.2 Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maya Veshamano ye mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te me Yukta Tamamataha. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So Krishna's judgment done. in less than 30 seconds, right? So if you have to compare the gopis and the jnanis, who is the winner? Who is the winner? Who is better?
Gopi.
Gopis. So actually these gopis, did you know that they have a past? In the previous lifetime, okay, some of the gopis were the Vedas personified. Some of the gopis, they were sages from Dandakaranya, where Lord Ramachandra went to meet them. And the sages of Dandakaranya, they had requested Lord Ramachandra, by looking at his beautiful feature, they said that we would like to associate with you personally, like lovers. Then Lord Ramachandra said, this is not possible in this lifetime, but it's possible in the next lifetime. You will come as my lover. So that's a boon given to those sages. These sages are liberated sages, you see. And some of the gopis are the eternal servitors coming from Golok Vrindavan. So like that, different types of gopis are there, right? So, but the ultimate thing is that to meditate upon the personal form of Krishna, to engage in this personal worship, this sadhana, whatever we have given, is not impersonal worship. To chant the names of Krishna is personal. To worship the deity of Krishna is personal. To hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the stories of Krishna, is personal. And this Krishna is saying himself that it is the best. So there's no confusion at all because Krishna has given the judgment. And then he continues to say, and he says this about those people who are taking the path of impersonalism. For them, this is the comment. Okay, anybody wants to read the shloka and the translation?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Fifth one. क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. Translation: for those whose minds are attached to unmanifested impersonal features of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we have two parts, the personal worship and the impersonal worship. The impersonal worship typically requires us to do meditation, requires us to do mental speculation based on the Upanishad texts. But that path is discouraged by Krishna in this shloka, saying that it's a troublesome path and it's really difficult for us to make progress in that path. So the previous verse he said personal worship is better, and now he's saying impersonal worship is actually difficult. It's better to take the personal path. That is Krishna's recommendation. Now, here is a very important verse where Krishna is talking about what about those people who are always thinking of Krishna. Let's see that. Very beautiful verses. Anybody can read the shloka?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, shall I?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Etu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matpara ananyaneva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudrata mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya avechita shetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So now tell me, what is it the gopis are going to get? Tell me.
Free from cycle of birth and death.
Yeah. And what are they doing? See here, what is saying? Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. That means giving up all the activities unto me and devoted to me without deviation. Always meditating upon me, having fixed minds upon me. For them, Krishna is saying, Tesham aham samudharta, mrityu samsara sagarat. This is very important. We are in the mrityu samsara. Mrityu samsara means what? Mrityu means death. This is a world of death, right? And there is one thing that's certain in this material world, that's death. And then it's not just dying once. We just keep dying and dying and dying and dying. I mean, we don't even have a count of how many times we would have died. Unlimited times. It is unlimitedly painful and difficult experience, giving up our relations, giving up our possessions, giving up our position. But every single time we are being forced to die. So we are in a miserable position. We have to understand that. Krishna is saying, Mrityu samsara sagara. Sagara, he is using the word ocean of death. It's ocean of birth and death. So in an ocean, you see in the picture here, if somebody puts you in an ocean, is it a very comfortable position? Tell me. In the middle of the ocean, if somebody drops you, what happens? How would it be? Is that very comfortable position? There are so many waves that are tossing up and down, and then you're gasping for breath. And how much time can you swim? You may be an expert swimmer, but in the ocean, how long can you remain afloat? How long? This is our position. This is our position. Material world means we are in this ocean of birth and death. So this is what we have to understand, our position, where we are, what we are doing. See, those people who are opposing devotional service, they themselves do not know what is their position. They don't want to know. Am I right? We were talking about this yesterday, right? Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is very dangerous. Am I right? So you have to be very careful. Actually, you should be very careful, right? You should be very careful. If you're driving a four-wheeler vehicle, you will be very careful, because a small mistake can actually cause death of a person. Is it not? If you're driving a lorry, you have to be very careful. If you're driving a flight, you should be very careful. Is it not? So it is carefulness. We have to be attentive in life. So when Krishna is telling, this is Bhagavad Gita shlokas, it's not any shlokas manufactured by me or anybody here. Okay, it's Krishna's verse. Tesham, you can go back. Some people sometimes they say ISKCON version is different, but you can take any version, Gita Press, any version in the world is the same. Tesham aham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya aveshita chetasam. What is the confusion in this? For those people who are completely meditating upon Krishna, Krishna is saying, I am the swift deliverer. Bhavami na chirat. Na chirat means very fast, quickly. Samudharta means I am the deliverer. So the message is very clear that Krishna can immediately deliver us from this cycle of birth and death. But for that, we have to do this. Give up the activities to Krishna and be devoted to Krishna without deviation, and engage in devotional service and always meditate upon him. Now let us see, how do we do that? Okay, it may not be possible that we are in this stage, that we are in a stage where we are always be able to think about Krishna. Okay, let's talk about an example. Okay, this is a very famous example. Maybe we'll take the story later. Okay, let's go to this shloka. This is the most important point. 12.8, Krishna is speaking. Okay, everybody listen attentively. I'll tell you one story. There was one person in ISKCON who came to ISKCON, and then later he left ISKCON. Okay, he left ISKCON. And he went to Guru Maharaj and Jayapatak Maharaj, and he asked, I'm not feeling very serious now in devotional service. I almost gave up chanting and all the practices. What should I do to get back? Then Guru Maharaj said, read chapter number 12. Read chapter number 12. Again and again and again and again, repetitively. Then you will understand the purpose, why you are doing devotional service. Then you will come back. And this devotee went back and started reading chapter number 12 repeatedly. And then the devotee came back again. So that's the power of chapter number 12. Okay, it explains why we should do devotional service. Why are we doing this? Right? It's a process. We are following a process. We're not doing something blind here. I mean, there was a case in the USA. They put a case on ISKCON saying it was in 1960s or 1970s, late 1960s, 1970s. They said this is a cult which is doing brainwash. This is a cult which is doing brainwash. Then, okay, the court case happened, and the judge, they asked for some evidence to be produced. Then do you know what was the evidence that was produced by ISKCON? Can anybody guess?
Bhagavad Gita book.
Bhagavad Gita book.
Yes, the judge was given Bhagavad Gita, not only Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, 18 cantos, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 6 cantos, and all the books by Prabhupada. So then this judge was like, he started reading the books. They're Prabhupada books, right? He started reading these books. And then he realized, he gave the judgment and he said, this is a bona fide spiritual disciplic succession, which dates back to thousands of years old. And this is a very widely practiced thing. The devotional service to Krishna is very widely practiced in India. Millions of people are doing it. Bhagavad Gita, the oldest textbook, right? The most prominent, the most deep, powerful theological textbook in the world is talking about it. So I'm reading from Bhagavad Gita, which Lord Krishna, original Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna and he's telling this. So there cannot be any mistake in this. This is said to be the best of all the Vedas. That is Bhagavad Gita. There cannot be any mistake in this. Okay, it's perfect knowledge. And what is Krishna's instruction? If you're really serious about going back to home, back to Godhead, you must do devotional service. You see, that's what Shukadeva Goswami is also saying, the same thing. See, the thing is, there are two types of people. One, people who are very serious about going back to Godhead, who want to be liberated. They want to be liberated for sure, this lifetime. There are others who are not interested in their own well-being. They're not interested in devotional service, nor are they interested in liberation, nor are they aware of it, nor they want to know about it. They just want to continue their program of sense gratification. This is for serious people. This is for those people who want to really go back to Godhead. It's not for those people who are just here for doing some kind of time pass, entertainment. It's not for them at all. This moment is a very serious moment. Because chanting the holy names of Krishna is a very serious process. Radha Krishna Bhakti is called Vairagya Vidya. The moment you start chanting, you'll get detachment in mind. And you'll get knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Day by day, your realizations will increase. You'll start seeing that others cannot see. You'll see the world in a different perspective. And ultimately, you get liberated, go back to home, back to God. But you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, if you fall down from this practice, Krishna consciousness, let us say that you left. Okay, you thought, okay, we will try this. Thoda idhar try kar liya, udhar try kar liya, ye try kar liya, wo try kar liya, sab little bit I'll try and just, okay, I'll be casual and just take it easy. If you fall down from the devotional service, you know what happens? You know how many years you'll have to wait for again getting this opportunity? Millions of years. Millions of years. So we'll have to go through so many different animal species. That's why it said, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Kripa Paya Bhaktilata Bija. That means we are rotating in this material world. somebody who's very, very lucky, after crores of lifetimes, we get the opportunity of a bona fide spiritual master. Then we get a birth in India. First point. Birth in India is rare. Next, being in Vedic culture is not easy. Following the Vedas is not possible. We won't get the access to Bhagavad Gita. We don't get access to devotional service. We don't get access to Krishna consciousness. We don't get a bona fide spiritual master. So the next opportunity will be after 1 million years. So if people are okay with that, then you can take it very casually and just very easily leave it, no problem. Another 1 million years, I shall just rotate around 1 million species, no problem for me. I am okay. If you are so casual, then this is not for me. Then you can do whatever you want. See what Krishna is saying. See here, just show you. Such an important point. How to do devotional service, Krishna will say. You see, sometimes some people say you are overdoing it. Don't do so much. Don't do so much. What is Krishna saying? Anybody can read this shloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mayyeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivashishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. This is the golden standard of Krishna consciousness. Who is at this standard? What is the example that I said at the beginning of the class? Who is at this standard?
Gopis, Prabhuji.
Gopis,
The
gopis.
gopis. Always remembering Krishna. Always thinking of Krishna. How far are we from that? We're quite far. How many of you agree to that? That we are quite far from that. That we are not always thinking about Krishna. We think about Krishna only during the class or maybe when we are chanting. Right? So this is the secret of success. This is the secret. This is the formula for going back to God. We want to come to this stage. Mayeva mana adhastva mai buddhim niveshaya. Nivesha. What is the meaning of nivesha? In Hindi, nivesh means investment. It's an investment. You have to invest your intelligence. Nivashishyasi mayeva. Then you say, if you put the nivesha, then you get the nivasa. Nivesha means if you invest your faith, you get nivasa. That is, you live in Krishna consciousness. You can live in Krishna. That means wherever you may be, you are in Vrindavan. So once in a year, we go to Vrindavan and we feel very happy about it because we see so many Radha Krishna temples. We see such beautiful temples, all the pastime places, Yamuna River, Govardhan, Parvat, all of that, and we become very happy. But then, if somebody is able to think about Krishna all the time, they are always in Vrindavan. So we can carry Vrindavan in our heart. So this is like the highest stage of the pure devotees. The pure devotees, they are carrying Vrindavan in their heart. Okay. Now, if you are not able to do this, then what? So do we say that, okay, you're not able to chant 16 rounds? Fine. Then don't do devotional service. You're waste. Do we say that? Or does anybody say that? Or will Krishna say that? No. Krishna is so merciful, right? Let's see what he says. First of all, the standard is not 16 rounds, okay? Are you able to understand? Just try to understand. This is the standard of the gopis, 12.8. That means 24/7, 365. 100% surrendered. Okay, this is not the standard of 16 rounds, okay? We are coming to 16 round standard in the next verse. I hope you got it, okay? If you got it, type GT in the chat. Got that. This is higher standard than this is not sadhana bhakti. 12.8 is not sadhana bhakti. 12.8 is prema. It's beyond everything. You have spontaneous love to Krishna. You are always thinking of Krishna already. We are not here at all. So that's why we are saying 12.9. Krishna is saying, okay, fine. You're not at that level 24/7, 365. Fine. Okay, do this. What is that? Let's see that. Okay, who wants to read this?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita 12.9. अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. Translation by Jivan Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So what is the meaning? If you're not able to fix your mind upon me without deviation, atachittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai sthiram. Na shaknosi means if you cannot. Mai sthiram means you cannot fix up your mind upon me all the time. Then what? Abhyasa yogena tato. That means then follow sadhana bhakti, regulative principles of bhakti yoga. Now, this is the standard that we speak about all the time. We are always talking about this. Please rise early in the morning in the Brahma Muhurta before 4 a.m. and do Mangala Arati, do Radha Krishna Arati, Narsimha Arati, Tulsi Arati, right? Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra at least 16 rounds. Follow the 4 regulative principles. Read Prabhupada books. All this is called as regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Just like I told you, right? So arranged marriage and young, newly married, no love. But then slowly by doing some activities guided by their elders, the love blossoms. Similarly, that love we don't have for Krishna. The love that gopis have, we don't have. Let's be honest. We don't have that love that gopis have. If that was the case, we would not be asking any of these questions. Am I right? Did gopis ask anybody this kind of questions? We don't have time for Krishna. What should I do? My relatives are not asking, stopping me. What should I do? They didn't ask. They just acted. So we want to get their mood. So to get their mood, we want to become like them. To get their mood, what is it that we have to do? We have to follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. It's a process. We have to take the process, whatever Prabhupada is giving. So it's like as much as we take, that much we get. Okay, so sometimes some people ask, is Krishna partial, that he's favoring the Pandavas and disfavoring the Kauravas? What do you think? Is Krishna favoring the demigods and not favoring the the Rakshasas? Lord Vishnu, when that Kshirosagar Manthan happens, right? The Amrita was given to the Devatas, and Krishna was giving strategies to the Devatas. And then when the demons got it, he came in the form of Mohini and he snatched it away from them by trick. And he gave it to the Devatas. So what's going on? Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Father, is he partial? What do you think? Why is he partial like that? Why should he show partiality so clearly? Is not everybody equal in front of Lord? Where is the equality? There should be no partiality, right? For God.
He is not partial, Prabhuji.
Okay, how do you justify that?
Prabhuji, this material world is dualities, right? Bad, good is there. So
Okay.
if he has to punish the bad people. So set an example, right? He has to set up. He should punish the bad people. So if you do bad things, you will get bad karmas and you will be into a sinful life. If you are doing devotional service, or if you are into good things, you will go back to Godhead, like that. He has to distinguish and set an example for all the living entities, right? So that is why he's not partial. He's punishing the miscreants and asking them also to. Finally, he took Putana also to back to Godhead only. No, Putana was a demon. That too, she was posted a very high position in spiritual world. That means he's correcting them, punishing them, and then taking back to Godhead. Ultimately, all should reach the back to Godhead. He's not partial. That's what is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else wants to add something?
Prabhuji, we are in this material world, so our view is materialistic. Whatever Krishna is doing, we look in that view for the point. So it feels that Krishna is partial. Otherwise, he is not partial. Our view is wrong, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay. Shishupal is also the example of just like, because he is telling 100 times his name, Krishna's name. Then he has got a mukti. Shaguni also the example. Both have got a mukti to Krishna, attain the lotus feet of Krishna. I think so. This
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's interesting. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, here,
Yes.
Prabhuji, the Rakshasas are all very cruelty because of that. Always they're troubling others only. So therefore, if they give that the divine this complete amruta, they become so much very strong people, and they destroy this other devatas and all that. That's why he has snatched it from the Rakshasa side and they given to devatas. That is my assessment, Prabhuji.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for adding. So I'm going to tell you something which will be blowing your mind away. How many of you are ready for that? Type ready in the chat. If you're ready for that, okay? So you're going to hear something mind blowing. Thing is this. If you go in front of a desire tree, Kalpa Vruksha will give you whatever you desire. For example, if somebody is asking for good health, they will get good health. If somebody is asking for wealth, they will get good wealth. If somebody is asking for extended family, they'll get extended family. So whatever is your desire, the Kalpa Vruksha grants. It doesn't grant others' desire to you. If your desire is that you want this, you get that. So depending upon the desire of the person who is in front of the Kalpa Vruksha, the Kalpa Vruksha just gives what they want. Lord Krishna is like that. That means, depending upon how much devotional service you do, how much effort you put towards Krishna, that much you get from him. How much ever you put, that much ever you get. If you put 0, you get 0. If you put 10, you get 10. If you put 50, you get 50. If you put 100, you get 100. So the devotees, they put their everything 100. Therefore, they get everything 100 back. The demons, they are like 0. They don't put anything. They completely are opposed to Krishna. So therefore, they get nothing. So it's not Krishna's fault. How many of you got that? Type GT in the chat if you got that. Right? So that's the thing. Krishna says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajantu tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. That means I envy no one, nor am I partial to anybody. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Right? So it is a relationship. It's like a reflection of the mirror. So our devotional service is a mirror. That's it. If you want to look good, then what you should do? You should nicely decorate. So if I want to look good, for example, I have to wear a nice dress, which is like ironed, very nice, okay? And then I have to wear nice tilak. I have to nicely comb my hair. Then my reflection will look good in the mirror. If I don't do this, my reflection won't look good. Similarly, Krishna is like that. If you serve Krishna, you are getting back everything. You are getting the benefit if you're serving Krishna. So how much ever you decorate, as much as you get. That's it. If you follow this much, you'll get that much. If you follow this much, you'll get that much. As simple as that. So Krishna is just like a desire tree. He simply reciprocates with that, with your feelings. All right. So that's the thing. So that's why he's giving different levels. So there's a topmost level. Topmost level, always thinking of Krishna. And then for them, what does Krishna do? For those who always think of him, what is he doing? What is it that they're getting? swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. They immediately get delivered. It's like their last lifetime in this material world. They will not suffer at all. Let us say, if some not at that standard, okay, somebody who's following the spiritual master, then they will come to that level and they will be delivered. If you are not following it, then it will be like multiple lifetimes, like one, lifetime 2, lifetime 3, and then back to Godhead. So as much as we delay the process, as much as we take it lightly, as much as slowly we get. For example, tell me something. Sometimes, when we are doing the DT worship, let's say we got late by 20 minutes. Okay, let's say we were supposed to do at 4:30 a.m. We did it at 4:50 a.m. So now tell me, 20 minutes late. There was one day when there is some kind of urgency, and then I'm urgently praying, Krishna, please help me, please help me, please help me, please help me, please help me. Is it okay if Krishna is 20 minutes late? Type in the chat. Okay or not okay? Is it okay? You are in an urgent emergency and you need urgent help. You need urgent emergency help. But then Krishna is 20 minutes late. Is that okay? Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. Whatever you give is what you get. Okay. No problem. Thank you, Chandra. So if our devotional service is careless and very casual, Krishna's reciprocation for us is also the same. How many of you got that? Is that powerful? The way we treat Krishna, he treats us. So if you don't prioritize Krishna, if Krishna is on the last list of your priority, you are in the last list of priority for Krishna. That's it. It's a very simple thing. I told you the reflection and your face. If you want to look good, just decorate yourself nicely. If you want to be happy, do Krishna consciousness fully. If you put it on the last of your list, that's what you're going to get. That's it. So you'll be in the last list. Got it? So that's why Krishna is telling, but still he is very compassionate. He's giving us all the options so that we increase, we become better and better and better. Day by day, we become better. That's the idea. Okay. So this is a very important process. Not everybody is born with pure devotional service. Not everybody is at that level, right? But then if we follow the spiritual master here, Abhyasa Yogena Tato, then we attain that desire. We become better. We become better devotees. What is a proof for that? Let's just take a simple example, okay? Srila Prabhupada. How did he start devotional service? Of course, he was a devotee from childhood, and his Acharya, who has come from a different planet, that's sure that he's come from Vaikunta. But just for our inspiration, I'm telling this, that he met a spiritual master and he heard the instructions from spiritual master, and he took the instructions as his life and soul. And that's how, he could start such a powerful movement. Take the case of my Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He met Srila Prabhupada at the age of 19, surrendered himself everything to Krishna, to Prabhupada. And even when his father was saying, that I will not give you even $1 of inheritance. He had millions of dollars, actually. His father is very rich. But he said, it's okay. And then he just was in with Prabhupada. And then today we can see how Guru Maharaj is so great, right? So he started at the age of 19, right? Guru Maharaj, Jayapatak Maharaj. He has now today 60,000 disciples, and he has such a wonderful service he has done to ISKCON and Krishna is unimaginable. The whole of Bangladesh, there is an entire village which are disciples of Jayapatak Maharaj. If you go to Bangladesh, we will see, you will see some videos that the entire village will be standing, for welcome of Guru Maharaj. Thousands of people. It's like thousands of people becoming devotees. We can't make our family devotees. We keep complaining, I can't make my husband devotee. Here Guru Maharaj is making thousands. You see, that's the power of devotional service. That's the power of surrender. That's the power of following spiritual master. That's why Guru is important. That's why we must follow Guru. We should not take it lightly. If we take it lightly, then our spiritual process is gone. Okay, this is the point. Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichaptam dhananjaya. Okay, let us see if somebody is not able to do this also, what's going to happen? If somebody is not able to do this, then what's going to happen? Abhyasepi asamartosi. Anybody want to read? Anybody wants to read? Hare Krishna.
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 12.10. अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम् अपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि. Translation: If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you. So this is like the next level. Next level doesn't mean better level. This is the lower level of standard. Highest level is to think of Krishna all the time. The next level is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master and do devotional service, Abhyasa Yoga, regulated devotional service. This is like the next level. This is like, a lot of people, they're favorable for Krishna consciousness. They may not be like regular devotees who come to the temple and chant, but they somehow support. For example, George Harrison, he donated a big land for Bhakti Vedanta Manor. The UK temple is given by George Harrison. And the Krishna book printing was also very expensive. So he sponsored the complete amount, full amount he gave for Krishna book printing. And just imagine that credit, that he has the credit of printing the Krishna book given by Srila Prabhupada. The entire world. So there is even a thank you note in the book, in the Krishna book. The Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what kind of eternal credit that he has got? So like that, there are some people who are helping ISKCON in some way or the other. Sometimes there are some people who come and do some service in the temple. Then they may not be regular devotees. They don't follow anything. They're just like, sometimes they're life members. They just want to help the movement. They give some amount, or they just come and they do some service, or they do it maybe some interior decoration for free. Maybe they give a plan for a new building for free. Whatever services, maybe like, for example, for ISKCON Abbott, somebody created a mobile app for free and they gave. They created the mobile app and gave it for free. So this is the thing. It is like, if you cannot follow the practice, the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then try to work for me. Because working for me, you will come to the stage of perfect stage. So this is like lower, a little bit lower level. So at least from here, we can go to the next level in the next lifetime, probably, and get more seriousness in the next lifetime. Maybe this lifetime was very unfavorable, unfortunate, because of the family, because of the upbringing, because of the values, or maybe because it is too late. This lifetime, no chance. But yeah, try to do something favorable so that next lifetime is more favorable. Born in the family of devotees, getting a better opportunity to do devotional service. Perfectly. Okay, got that? Right. Let's go to the next one. Now, there are some people who just cannot do devotional service. These are the people, they just cannot connect with spirituality or God, and they are completely against it, more or less. Maybe because of their value system, or maybe because of their education, their training, or their company that they have. They just cannot connect with these spiritual causes. For them, material causes are important. Okay, this is like the next level. Yeah, go ahead and read this shloka.
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ataitad apyashaktosi kartum yogamashritah sarvakarma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the next level of advice. If we are not able to directly serve Krishna or Krishna's deities, when we say serving Krishna means Krishna's deities, okay, Krishna's temple or Krishna's movement or Krishna's stories, Krishna's message directly. If you're not able to do that, this is an indirect way. So this is like the social service. Social service, we always hear this, right? Jantas, Jan Seva is Janardhan Seva, Manav Seva, Madhav Seva. This is that platform. This is a lower level of platform. This is also devotional service, but not so direct. It's not the top class devotional service. The top class is gopis who are always thinking of Krishna. Second class is regulated devotional service. That's what, like, for example, the ISKCON devotees, like, they're trying to chant Hare Krishna. That's like the second level. The third level is like those people who are indirectly helping Krishna temples, like that, by serving or by giving something or donation or doing some activities. That's like the third level. This is the fourth level, okay, inferior to the previous three levels. This is also there, that if you do social service, it is useful. It makes sense also, because, like, if you're serving people, if you're serving poor people or needy people who are in difficulty, you develop a sense of detachment. And when you give away your money, you will get some kind of detachment and you'll get a little bit of compassion for others. And the idea is you may come to spiritual path. May. That is also not compulsory. In this lifetime or the next lifetime. At least you are working your way. At least it's not very materialistic, right? So materialism is all about just accumulating money and not giving to anybody, not helping anyone. That's like much worse than this. So at least you are on some platform, some good platform, trying to help others. So there's a possibility that, okay, you may be attracted to Krishna. So that's the idea. Now, if you cannot take to this practice, engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain the peace of mind. So at least the basic thing is renunciation of fruits of action. Any kind of spirituality, you should be giving some kind of charity, should be giving it up for, maybe you want to give it to some school, you want to give it to some NGO, you want to give it to some hospital, some trust, or old age home, or for the sake of some food distribution or flood relief. Okay, that's at some level. Better than that is meditation. Okay, better than that is knowledge. So transcendental knowledge is better than that. So these are different levels. So ultimately, this is the thing. Okay, the topmost number one is mind fixed in Krishna. If you have your mind fixed on Krishna, you live in relationship with Krishna. That's the topmost level. Second level is if you're not at that natural level, but again, the word of caution here, we must never artificially think that we are in topmost level. Okay, that's a very big fall down. Okay, I can warn you that because I can relate with that as a newcomer or as a neophyte. I might have sometimes felt like that, but that's definitely a fall down point. It's definitely not the case. Okay, we are definitely not at that level, because if we were at that level, it would be manifesting it at a completely different way, and it is very difficult to hide that. It's impossible to hide that pure devotional service. So we should not overestimate ourselves and think that I don't need this practice, regulated practice. I don't need this 16 rounds. I don't need this Mangalarti. I don't need this Tulsiyati. I don't need to follow this. I'm already there. That is like the sure thing, like, it's like a fall down. It's like a trap of Maya. Definitely, I can say that. We should be very careful about it. Never think of that. So that's why we should take resort to the regulative principles. That's the number 2. And number 3 is just trying to be indirectly Krishna conscious, doing a little bit of Krishna consciousness, doing whatever I feel like doing. Sometimes I'll do this, sometimes I'll do that. For a festival, I'll go to ISKCON, or for some yatra, I'll come back, I'll do a little bit. Okay, that's at one level, level 3. And not even that is like level 4, that is like purification. I mean, doing the Varnashrama Dharma, trying to help others, trying to do all the religious practices, this, that, so many things. Okay, that's a very gradual development. So this is the ladder. I hope you're getting it. How we grow in Krishna consciousness practice. Yeah, so that's about it. I think I'll stop here. There's a separate section here which talks about what are the qualities of a devotee. I think I'll take it separately in the next class. So let's just summarize this class. So today's class, we started with the story of the gopis and the Raslila of Krishna, and where the gopis, they had no clue that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. And they had no clue about liberation or anything like that. They were naturally attracted to Krishna. And despite of all the odds, they were very attracted to Krishna. And Shukadeva Goswami said that they burnt all their karma just because of this spontaneous attraction to Krishna. And then we saw 12th chapter beginning, where Arjuna asked which process is more powerful, or who is better, the impersonalists who are taking to the impersonal worship of Krishna by fire sacrifices, or maybe by different kinds of yoga, meditation, or maybe by reading Upanishads, reading heavy philosophy, speculation. Are they better, or the devotees who are like, clearly, who just say that I am the servant of God? As simple as that. Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayo Dasa Dasalu Dasa. I'm just servant of God. Dasosmi. I am the servant of Lord. So we're just like that. We're serving the Lord. We're serving the deity of the Lord. A lot of times we get a doubt. How to serve Krishna? How to serve Krishna? Where is Krishna? Krishna is in a deity. Deity non-different from Krishna. If you're serving the deity of Krishna, you're serving Krishna. And another interesting thing is, in Kali Yuga, the way to worship Krishna is chanting. So even more important than deity worship is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because if you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are directly worshipping Krishna in a better, superior way. Okay, not that you should not do deity worship, but this is a superior process, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's the best process given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it's very much relevant to today's age, that is Kali Yuga. This is specific and relevant to this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtana. Kalo, Nama Sankirtana. Nama Sankirtana is the best way to worship Lord. So now and then we saw how Krishna said that for those people who always think about me, I'm swift deliverer of birth and death. And we spoke about what's the importance of getting liberated. And I spoke about how Krishna is not partial to anybody. And Krishna simply reciprocates. Right? He reciprocates. There are some people like our Guru Maharaj, for example, who gave up everything for Krishna at the age of 19. So Krishna reciprocates with him in a different level. And there may be some devotee like me who's like just like some level basic devotee trying to do some devotional service. Krishna will reciprocate in a similar way. I cannot expect more than what I do. That's a simple lesson, take away. Okay. So that's the point that we discussed. And we saw how important it is to do devotional service, regulative principles under the guidance of the spiritual master, how important it is to take it very seriously and not to take it casually. Otherwise, it comes to level 3 from level 2, which is much faster than level 3. So level 3 is just indirectly doing a little bit of Krishna consciousness, going somewhere like membership, or maybe a little bit yatra here, there, festival, little bit chanting, like that, it'll be level 3. Okay. Level 4 is like nothing, no chanting, nothing, no ISKCON, no Hare Krishna, no temple. It's like, I like to serve the society. I want to serve the poor. I want to serve the needy. I want to give money to the PM relief fund. I want to serve this, that. So that's like at the different service level, NGO, etc. That's another level, which gradually takes us to the higher levels. Okay. And that's what we saw. And finally, Krishna said, better than Shreyo Jnanam Abhyasat. Better than the knowledge is the practice of meditation, and better than meditation is the giving up of the fruits of activities. All right. So this is what we saw. So I hope this class had some value for you and some impact for you. So that's about it. Thank you, devotees. You can share your realizations now. What is it that you learned from today's class? Hare Krishna. I would love to hear that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
As you said, it's just impossible for us to reach the level of gopis. Though, of course, we may try, but then in my case, even the regulative principles, I'm not able to do it. So, but I'm continuously thinking about Krishna, and just in case, see, it's not so easy that when you're leaving the body, you think about Krishna, and then you get delivered. But just in case you're not up to the mark and not done enough, but just accidentally you just think at that moment when you're leaving the body, what will happen, Prabhuji?
We'll go back to Godhead. If you think about Krishna at the time of leaving the body, you'll go back to Godhead.
Okay, and just in case we are not able to think about Krishna, also, meaning will I get a very in case I'm not up to the mark, and will I go down? Will be what do you
No,
call?
we will get a favorable birth. We'll
Okay,
be getting a much favorable birth in the next lifetime.
okay,
In the family of transcendentalists. That's what Krishna says, right, in Bhagavad Gita. So we'll get a
okay.
much favorable birth, next practice, next lifetime. That's what happens.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Renuka Mataji, you want to say something?
I try to become the pure devotee, Prabhuji. Try my best, how much I can do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be born again, actually. This life is taught me enough lessons. So I try to become as much as I can. I'll be the pure devotee. I
Good.
try my best.
Good. Keep trying. Keep trying. Just keep trying. Keep improving. That's the key, that we can't jump even to come to the level 2 also. It's difficult. I realize. I understand that. So that's the reason why it's a gradual process. We have to keep improving every single day, every month, every year. We should review our progress and we should keep improving until we are able to come to the standards. And again, that's not the end of it. We should come to the standards and stick to it.
And may not be like chanting 16 rounds and all, but always I'll think in my mind Krishna, Prabhuji. Always. Whatever, even if I'm doing some other work also, I think of Krishna. It's like
Sure.
that. Because sometimes it is difficult to follow or
Yes.
to do all such things. But I feel all the time, if I think of Krishna, maybe I don't want to be born again. That's all.
We can hope. Krishna will reciprocate. How much ever you give, you get. So Krishna is giving these instructions. Krishna Guru instruction, no difference. But if we try to do something on our own, again, it's at a risky area. We are getting into a risky area. There's no guarantee of results.
That is
There's no guarantee of results. But then we just have to. We'll have to depend on Krishna. He'll give how much ever we give, he gives back. That's it. It's the same thing. Whatever you give, you get. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Prabhuji, in my
Hare
case,
Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I follow this regulative principles. Getting up all this, even up 4 o'clock, I follow Aarti, Japa, and all this. In addition to that, I will sometimes I'll miss this Japa section because I am to go for yoga for keeping up health. So that I'm thinking of seriously whether to detach this yoga and only attach with the morning Japa session fully and this thing, because partially I'm doing this.
Can do.
Japa.
You can do yoga in the little later also, 7 a.m. or maybe in the afternoon sometimes. You can do that, maybe.
all are detached, Prabhuji, except this daily because of the family, this thing, that onion and garlic, this sambar, that is only the problem because I can't prepare myself.
That's
And I can't expect them to prepare
That's
this thing.
I understand. I understand.
Widower, so this the
I,
problem
I
is there.
understand. I understand, Prabhu. Prabhu, when there is really genuine problem, we just have to depend on Krishna, and we should pray to Krishna, and Krishna will understand our situation.
So,
Okay.
Hare Krishna, one more question, Prabhuji.
Yes, sir.
Ekadasi day, I'm from morning to up to night I will return, but because of this sugar, this patient and all problem, I have to take tablets. So after night, Krishna just accept because of I'm not doing this thing like that. I will take some chapati, this and all food and all this.
Yeah, the
Will
elders,
it be all right?
it
Or
is
what
relaxed. For elders, it is relaxed. As far as I know, as far as my
is-
knowledge is concerned, elders who cannot fast, there's no hard and fast rule for them, like for whose body doesn't cooperate. Okay.
Right. Thank you,
The idea
Prabhuji.
is chanting. Just focus on chanting. That's very important. Okay.
I'm Ekadasi day little more, 1 or 2 more,
Yes.
but regularly I'm doing 16 rounds I'm doing.
Yes.
So little
Otherwise,
more.
there are many non-grain alternatives, Prabhu.
Yes,
You
Prabhuji.
can explore that. Non-grain alternatives, you can explore a little bit. Sabudana is there. Sabudana you can have instead of grains. It'll be useful.
Sabudana, because that preparation again, it is a problem for me, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
But I get some the groundnuts. This one, whatever the temple they prepare sometimes, no, like that groundnuts and fruits. I'm fasting from morning to evening. I mean,
Yes,
night
bro.
up to 9 o'clock.
Yes, bro.
Afterwards,
Yes.
I will break this thing.
Sure.
Confessing to the Krishna.
Sure, Prabhu.
So,
Okay.
thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Dandavat
yes.
pranam. Yes, Prabhuji, I am also making very slow progress, but definitely I am, trying to improve the Krishna conscious activities more. Yes, and I'm doing this Narsimha Chaturdasi. I'm following all that.
Yes.
And yes, the ultimate goal is to be fixed on Krishna. So for that, what all I can improve, I'll think of that. So that is one real good progress that I can say. So I'm like, say if at all I'm not, clean in the sense, then, to use that counter, because if I'm not able to use the mala,
yes,
then
yes.
I try to.
That's
So
fine.
that way, I'm trying to make alternatives and whatnot, all that. So yes, Prabhuji, slowly it is happening.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
Thank you, Prabhuji, all your support, all your motivation. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Sure. Just keep going. Even if you're putting one step also, it's fine. But just make sure you're putting one small step at a time. That should be good. Yeah,
Yes,
very
Prabhuji.
much helpful to our life, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Grandvat pranam to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. It's my
Thank you,
service to
Prabhuji.
all of you. I'm serving the devotees. I'm serving it as a service to Krishna, as a service to Guru and Gauranga. I'm doing it. So I'm trying my best. So I'm happy to hear that you're all getting inspired. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Swati Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. I am interested to know why Prahlad Maharaj, why Narsimha Dev teach to Prahlad Maharaj this Ashtanga Yoga Narsimha they used to tell
Yeah.
no, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's like Yoga Narsimha doesn't mean that he taught Prahlad Maharaj. That's a local story, but we don't know how much seriousness is there. That's a local legend that Lord was teaching yoga system, but Prahlad Maharaj, I'm sure, doesn't need yoga system. So it could have been a speculatory story. We don't know. I'm just telling you one possible reason. Another possible reason is he came for guiding the yogis. The yogis are also, Krishna is Yogeshwara. And the yoga, Patanjali yoga system is saying you should meditate upon Vishnu. The whole system is about meditating upon Vishnu. That's the ultimate thing. Krishna being Yogeshwara, he should have something for the yogis, right? So maybe he was teaching some lessons for the yogis. So, but definitely, I'm sure Prahlad Maharaj is doing a far better devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna himself has said Bhakti Yoga is the highest kind of yoga. So, I'm sure he would not be teaching any asana or pranayama for Prahlad Maharaj. Okay.
That's what Prabhuji, in Ahobulam also I saw, in Yadadri also I saw. I
Yes.
got
Yoga Narsimha. Yoga Narsimha, the idea is he's sitting in a yogic posture. The idea Yoga Narsimha, I'll tell you the story. Yoga Narsimha means he has to appear in front of that khamba. That's what is that? Pillar. Right? So he has to enter inside that pillar. For that, he is doing yoga. He's sitting and doing yoga. But again, Supreme Personality of Godhead is all pervasive. He doesn't have to do yoga. Is it not? Krishna doesn't have to do yoga and go get inside the what do you say? Pillar, right? So he's all pervasive. It is just for our understanding also. We can say that, okay, for a common man to understand, okay, how did Krishna enter inside that pillar? Somebody can ask. Then, okay, we say, okay, Lord is saying, okay, I did yoga and then I entered inside the pillar. One way of convincing us, but it doesn't make sense because Krishna is already all pervasive. He's there in everywhere, right? Makes sense? It's just for, it's a darshan. It's a one way of darshan. It's one yogic posture he's sitting and he's giving darshan. That's it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay. Let's stop here. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna. And I'll
Hare
see
Krishna,
you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you.